Hey everyone! This week in the world, we are together again with a wide agenda file. Our first title will be The U.S. Elections, U.S. Presidential Elections, Trump Wins. Donald Trump is preparing for his second term by winning again in the presidential elections held in the United States. Trump emphasized economic growth, immigration reform, and rebuilding America's power in his campaign. The election results seem to lead to major changes that will affect the U.S.'s domestic and foreign policy. Trump's agenda for his second term will shape both domestic and global policies. Crisis grows in the Middle East. Humanitarian disaster imminent in Gaza. The ongoing conflicts between Israel and Palestine have created a major humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. While Israel's airstrikes and Hamas's counterattacks increase the loss of life and destruction in the region, the United Nations and the international community continue to call for peace. However, it still seems difficult to find a permanent solution due to the political and religious tensions in the region. The people in Gaza have difficulty meeting their basic food and health needs. Europe on the verge of economic crisis, inflation, energy crisis, and hard times. Economic uncertainty and crisis are deepening in Europe. Rising inflation and high energy prices are straining even countries with large economies. While countries such as Germany, France, and Italy struggle with rising living costs, the European Central Bank continues to raise interest rates. However, these measures are causing great economic pressure on the public, and social unrest is increasing in Europe. Accelerating investments in renewable energy is seen as a long-term solution to this crisis. Tension escalates in Asia-Pacific. Cold War between China and Taiwan. China's claims over Taiwan are increasing tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. China's military activities and airspace violations around Taiwan are raising regional security concerns. The U.S. and its allies continue their support for Taiwan, and countries such as Japan and South Korea are increasing their security measures. This tension between China and the West is increasing fears of a potential Cold War in the region. Developments in the region are of critical importance for global security. The planet is alarmed. Critical warnings from the Climate Crisis Summit. A call was made for urgent measures to be taken to combat global warming and climate change at the Climate Summit organized by the United Nations. Scientists point out that rising average temperatures will accelerate environmental destruction. Rising sea levels and increasing extreme weather events make the urgency of climate change more apparent. However, the promises made by world leaders are considered insufficient by environmental activists. Climate change is no longer a threat, but a global crisis. The wave of artificial intelligence and automation, a major transformation in the world of technology. Technological developments are progressing rapidly around the world. Artificial intelligence is increasingly being integrated into the workforce by giants such as OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft. Although automation and productivity are increasing, concerns that this situation may have negative effects on the workforce are also increasing. Artificial intelligence offers both opportunities that will revolutionize the business world and new challenges such as job losses and ethical issues. This rapid evolution of technology seems to lead to major changes in all sectors. Russia-Ukraine. War. Hopes for peace shadowed again. The war between Russia and Ukraine continues to threaten world security. Many countries, especially Turkey, are making efforts for peace talks. However, the violence of the war and the rigid stances of the parties are the biggest obstacles to peace talks. It is a fact that the war has further deepened the energy crisis in Europe and caused disruptions in global food supply chains. Whether a permanent peace can be achieved between Russia and Ukraine remains uncertain. The African continent sounds the alarm. Food and water crisis. Threatens millions. Drought, Infrastructure problems and internal conflicts in Africa are creating a major humanitarian crisis on the continent. The decline of water resources and falling agricultural production in sub-Saharan Africa are putting millions of people at risk of hunger and thirst. The United Nations and other humanitarian organizations are making intense efforts to alleviate the food and water crisis on the continent. However, it is clear that Africa needs more aid and investment for long-term solutions. This week's global developments reveal deepening crises and rapidly changing policies in many different areas. In addition to economic and political tensions, environmental problems are also awaiting solutions around the world. The effects of global crises are becoming more apparent every day, increasing the need for international cooperation and urgent solutions.